Welcome back, everyone. Tomorrow is such a crazy day. We are going to be getting a ton of news. I'm going to be doing a ton of comparisons tomorrow as well. But before that happens, let's go ahead and break down pretty much every single thing that we know of as of right now publicly on these new iPhones. And I'll do my best. I mean, you're probably going to watch this video after the event and then see this and recommend it and then watch it from there. So I doubt anybody's really going to watch it today. But the October 13th event that Apple pushed out a while ago is going to be happening, and I'm so freaking happy about it. Now, the most important thing to keep in mind about this specific event is that we are going to be getting not one, not two, but 4 different iPhones tomorrow. And there's a lot of differences. There could be 5 too, but as we know of right now, there's going to be a 5.4-inch mini iPhone. They're going to call it an iPhone 12 mini. And this will pretty much be around the same size as an iPhone 8. So it's going to have an OLED display. It's going to have that flat design that we've seen on pretty much all the renders that people have been making. Beautiful renders, much more better than mine. And it seems to be a solid pickup in my opinion based on everything that we've seen. Now we're going to be getting 2 6.1-inch iPhones. We're going to be getting the iPhone 12. So just that standard iPhone 12, basically the iPhone 11 successor. And then we're going to be getting that iPhone 12 Pro, which is going to be the same exact size, but the panels are going to be pretty different. And we're also going to be getting pretty much a triple camera setup with the LiDAR sensor on the iPhone 12 Pro, whereas on the iPhone 12, we're going to be getting a dual camera setup, and that's pretty much it on the back. Now, like I said, flat designs across the board on both of these. And on the biggest model, going from a 6.5-inch iPhone 11 Pro Max, we're going to be getting an iPhone 12 Pro Max that's going to be 6.7 inches. So it'll be a little bit bigger overall. Now, we're not 100% certain whether it's going to be, because of the lack of bezel around it, or if there's going to be a bigger, increase in size. If I had to say it, I'll probably say there's going to be a bigger increase in size. Big phones have been getting bigger and bigger throughout the years. We've seen with the Galaxy S20 Plus series, now with the Ultra, same exact thing with the 20 Ultra that just came out that has a ginormous display as well. So chances are the same thing is going to be happening for these bigger iPhones, so they can kind of compete more in line. Now, like I said, all these will have OLED displays, but my very interesting thing that I want to see is that between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, whether one is going to have a way better display noticeably than the other one, because they're both going to be OLED, but I'm pretty sure the 12 Pro Max is going to have pretty much over a full HD panel, where the iPhone 12 will probably have, just around an HD panel, around that 750p panel, versus like that 1246 panel that we've been getting on these iPhone 10s and 12 Pros and 11 Pro Maxes and all that stuff. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Now, as far as I know, apparently all iPhones will have 5G, but I'm probably going to say the 2 top tier, the Pro and Pro Max, those are probably going to be the ones that have the 5G capability. We are not going to be seeing 120 Hertz this year, apparently, from what everyone has said. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Internally, though, some other changes have happened. We're going to be getting the 64 gig base models on both the iPhone 12 and the 12 mini. So keep that in mind. Those storage variants are not changing. Whereas on the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, we actually could be seeing a change in these baseline storage models. We could be seeing the jump from 64 to 128 gigs. And I think that in and of itself would make more people want to pick up the Pro models because of that baseline storage getting an increase. Last year, honestly, and even the year before that, we saw, I'll just keep the 11 right now and the 11 Pro just in your head. With those specific iPhones, I don't know why they did this, but pretty much the iPhone 11 was a faster performing device than the 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, mainly because they had the same chipsets, same internals across the board, but the iPhone 11 had a lower resolution display, so it kind of made things load up a lot faster, and that was kind of a disadvantage. How are you going to call a phone a Pro model if it's not necessarily better than the other ones? So that makes me think that not only, the storage variant thing, increase makes sense, but I also think that Apple may actually go and create some bigger differences between these lower end models and these top tier models, mainly in the specs of the RAM management. I think there's going to be more RAM on the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max versus the standard 12 and 12 mini. We could see, 4 gigs of RAM on the 12 mini and 12, whereas on the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, we could be seeing 6 gigs of RAM. In my opinion, that's what makes the most amount of sense. But again, could be wrong, but that's kind of an opinion. But those storage models are pretty much, guaranteed. We're also going to be seeing 5 different colored models on the iPhone 12 mini and 12, where we're only going to be seeing 4 different colored models on the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max. Now, on top of that, pricing wise, I've talked about this a lot. That's why I kind of saved it towards the end, because everyone already knows this. The iPhone 12 mini could potentially start off at around that $699 price tag. I honestly kind of wanted it to start off at $649, But I guess we'll see what happens. It could be $699, it could be $649, but a ton of rumors are stating that it's going to be $699, so I have no reason to not say that. Now, on top of that, the iPhone 12 is going to be starting at $799, so an increase from last year from $699. So again, this iPhone 12 mini is set to kind of be an iPhone 12 successor, but in a way, it's kind of its own breed. And since it's starting at a lower price tag, that might make people okay, so this phone, if you want to get it, it's the same price as last year's, but the, bigger iPhone 12 is going to cost more money, which makes sense. That's why I kind of wish it was the $649 price tag. That way Apple could go and sell the iPhone 12 for $749, and then that would pretty much be around the same price that the iPhone XR sold for. But again, could be wrong. I guess we'll see what happens. But that iPhone 12 would potentially be selling for $799. Now, the iPhone 12 Pro, on the other hand, is going to stay the same price at $999. You're going to be getting obviously a better phone, but also an increase in storage, which is going to be huge. And the iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to be starting at $1099, which is very interesting. And I'm so happy Apple is, potentially rumored to stay in the same price range. Before, we saw Samsung increasing the prices for their Note lineup, and I think OnePlus as well, and even the Google Pixel lineup until this year. They were, all across the board, they were increasing the prices. But Apple made their commitment. They kept the same prices pretty much. They've been kind of changing around their bottom tier iPhones and the price tag there. But they've been really killing it this year. They released the iPhone SE2. They released all those budget iPads. They released, the tons of different things this year, including potentially these iPhones staying in the same price tag, which is going to be huge as well. Now, within the box, this is where they're going to be doing some cost-cutting measures, which I'm probably okay with. There's not going to be a power adapter in the box, and there's not going to be earpods. Now, me personally, I'm totally okay with him removing the earpods. I never really used them. They were just kind of like paperweights at a certain point, but they weren't even that heavy, so they just stayed in drawers. I never used them, and there's just kind of a waste, to be honest. I have AirPods, so it's kind of pointless. But the power adapter was one of those things that I was a little bit more hesitant at first, but then I low-key kind of got used to it, I really don't use power adapters that often, to be completely honest. I usually have, my phone connected to a computer or connected to a USB extension cord that I have. Very rarely do I use a power brick anymore either. And to be honest, I don't really use power bricks at all. I use these extension cords that have USB plugs built into them. So I'm not even using power adapter. I have a whole box of power adapters, so I'm totally okay with it now. But at first I was a little hesitant, but it totally makes sense now. So they're going to be saving money here, and I totally see them doing it because they removed them for the Apple Watches. Totally makes sense. I totally get it. But I wonder what the consensus across the board is going to be from, other people saying it. Are people going to like it? Are people going to hate it? I think people are probably going to make a big deal about it at first, but they're going to get used to it. Just like how they removed the headphone jack, people freaked out and they got used to it. And I think this is really going to upsell a bunch of AirPods in the future as well. So that's going to be very, very interesting when that happens. So now I'll go ahead and touch on the, estimated release date of these devices. The iPhone 12 and 12 Pro are apparently going to be the first iPhones they release. The iPhone 12, the standard one, the $799 model, is going to sell apparently October 16th for pre-orders, and it's going to eventually hit the stores. I believe October 23rd is around the date, whereas on the iPhone 12 Pro is the same exact thing, where on the iPhone 12 mini and 12 Pro Max, those phones are eventually going to be released a month later. Now that is very interesting. I don't know why they chose to do it that way, why a whole month later they chose to wait for it, but again, they know more than I do. I'm not going to sit here and try to combat Apple as a company versus just me, one guy, but I would probably say I'd be surprised if Apple goes ahead and does that. I think hopefully they release them all at the same time, but also I hope they don't, because that gives more time to review specific devices and even do more comparisons and stuff. When you have 4 devices, you kind of have to rush it out. So I think Apple kind of knows that too. That's probably not the main thing, but it's, a small little thing right there. So again, it is what it is, but that's kind of what we could potentially see tomorrow. That's pretty much all the rumors that we've known, at least all the major ones. There's some minor ones too kind of floating around, but in my opinion, that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.